On May 30th of this year, I made an Instagram post and I said, men bashing modern female glute training methods is thinly veiled misogyny. And I said, imagine being so fragile that you get insanely triggered when you see an exercise being performed. Unfortunately, this is now the norm when many men watch women train, and it's happening much more frequently. We need to draw attention to this and define it for it to stop. This includes the bashing of kickbacks, abduction exercises, band work, heavy hip thrusts, and high-frequency glute training. In the comments section below, you'll undoubtedly witness dozens of men attempt to justify or downplay these practices. I need women to chime in here and share their experiences because it's gotten out of hand. In general, women are the experts in glute training, not men. The people who become the experts at something are the ones who care about it the most, prioritize it the most, and experiment it with the most. One study showed that men perform 9 sets of glute exercises per week, whereas women perform 40. Most male lifters have never performed a single set of hip thrusts, kickbacks, or any abduction exercise. Similarly, most have never used an elastic resistance band for a quick glute workout. And despite this complete ignorance, it doesn't stop them from chiming in and telling women how they should lift. In order of most to least egregious, numerous men are 1, bashing the way women train when women are in fact training exactly how they should be training for their goals. 2, providing incorrect, unsolicited advice to women in the gym pertaining to things with which they have zero experience. And 3, exhibiting extreme hypocrisy. It's far more rampant than you guys can imagine, and comments on social media are getting more hostile and frequent. For some bizarre reason, men think that they can tell women what their training goals should be, and they think that women should be training just like them. As if women's training schedules should consist of 1 weekly chest day, back day, shoulder day, arm day, and a quad and ham day containing 0 glute isolation work. It seems that most men cannot understand that women have different physique goals than men, which requires them to train differently. In 31 years of studying strength training, I can't think of a single time where I saw a woman bashing typical male training methods or gym attire. They ignore the drop armhole tank tops, the hoodies, the MC Hammer pants, the leggings, and the fanny packs. They ignore the 5 upper body days with only 1 leg day that commonly gets skipped. They ignore the fact that men perform 5 exercises including isolation work for the pecs, the lats, the delts, and the bis and tris, but 0 isolation work for the gluteus maximus or medius, 2 really important muscle groups. They ignore the 1 rep max bench presses, bouncing the bar off the chest, and the way too heavy quarter squats and leg presses. They ignore the constant flexing in the mirror and lifting the shirt up in between every single set to make sure the 6-pack is still there. They mind their business and let bros be bros. However, every single day women have to deal with men mansplaining and worse, insulting them for performing a variety of glute exercises, for training the glutes multiple times per week, and for performing heavy hip thrusts. Men seem to be okay with variations of squats, deadlifts, lunges, split squats, step-ups, leg press, reverse hypers, and 45-degree hypers for glutes. Maybe because these have been around for longer, or because most of them are stretch position exercises. But they lose their minds when they see women performing hip thrusts, glute bridges, frog pumps, kickbacks, seated hip abduction, cable standing hip abduction, or any band glute exercise. And most of these are more modern squeeze position exercises. Bear in mind that bros do tons of concentration curls, rope tricep extensions, cable crossovers, and lateral raises, all squeeze exercises, so this is massively hypocritical. Moreover, hip abduction and bent leg hip extension movement patterns are necessary to optimize a woman's physique, particularly for upper glute development. The primary role of the glute medius is to abduct. They also bash female fitfluencers for their gym attire and their booty poses, but their outfits are over the top too, and they're constantly flexing in the gym. Bros are arguably more absurd than booty influencers. If women acted like men, every time a man performed the following movements, here would be the response. Delt raises. Bro, just shoulder press. Those literally do nothing. Flies and crossovers. Dude, just bench and incline press. Those are literally worthless. Curls and tricep extensions. Laugh my ass off. Drop the useless wimpy arm movements and just do chin-ups, close grip bench, and dips like a real man. Deadlifts. Dumbest exercise in existence. Injury waiting to happen. Any 1 rep max attempt. That's all ego, brah. 1 rep literally does nothing. Drop the weight and do at least 6 reps, preferably 12. And here's what's crazy about this phenomenon. You'll have 100 women comment that they saw better results in terms of glute development when they started doing hip thrusts or using bands, but men will never acknowledge this. They'll write them off as clueless and dismiss their anecdotal experience. Moreover, men think they can deny reality. You'll hear bros commonly say, the women with the best glute development all focus on squats. That's not true, not by a landslide. The women with the best glute development in the world are bikini competitors and fitness influencers. Most of them prioritize hip thrusts and perform a fairly equal amount of vertical hip extension exercise like squats, lunges, step-ups, and deadlifts, horizontal hip extension exercises like hip thrust, glute bridges, back extension, and kickbacks, and lateral glute exercise like seated standing or side-lying hip abduction. They perform around 36 sets per week for glutes and utilize free weights, machines, and bands. They perform a ton of glute isolation work because if they relied solely on squats and deadlifts, their quads, hams, adductors, and erectors could get overdeveloped compared to the glutes. They're trying to grow the glutes more than the legs. I'm going to repeat that. They're trying to grow the glutes more than the legs. In addition, they'd experience significantly more pain and injuries if they solely perform squats and deads, as these can be hard on the knees, hips, and low back. They use bands because they're awesome for isolating the glutes and providing penalty-free volume. That doesn't make you sore, and it's a nice complement to free weights. You'll never, I repeat, never see a male hater talk about actually programming either. They'll bash hip thrusts or kickbacks or abduction, but if you ask them what's an optimal glute training program, they won't answer you. This is because one, they really don't have the slightest clue about glute training, and two, they'd expose themselves as frauds. For example, if they said to just squat, lunge, and RDL for 4 sets twice per week, any logical person would realize that hip thrusts and kickbacks and abduction could be added to this same program for even better results. And if you ask them about their own training program, you'd see that they perform isolation movements for every muscle, including bis, tris, delts, lats, traps, abs, quads, hams, and calves. Apparently it's okay to isolate any muscle except for the glutes. LOL. Bros pretend that hip thrusts are dangerous, but everyone in the world knows that squats and deadlifts are far more dangerous. This isn't even an argument. We have research now showing that hip thrusts continue to build the glutes if added to a program consisting of leg press and stiff leg deadlifts. This provides evidence that the hip thrusts don't do nothing, and there's more positive research on the way. However, male haters don't care about research. They don't care about anecdotes. They don't care about reality. The truth is far more appalling. Bros cannot stand that women figured out a better way to train a certain body part, glutes, more than them. It drives them absolutely crazy to the point where men are making up their own physics and fabricating studies to pretend like hip thrusts aren't effective, or claiming that bands don't require any muscular tension to stretch them. In summary, men do not possess the glute training expertise that women do, and their training advice is downright laughable. Men are bashing female glute training methods, providing wrong, unsolicited advice, mansplaining, and exhibiting extreme hypocrisy. And it has nothing to do with science or reality and everything to do with misogyny. And it won't stop until people start speaking up about it. Let's start calling a spade and dealing with this issue. For those of you who don't think this is a big deal, read the comment section below to see what women have to deal with every single day and decide for yourself if it's acceptable or not. How would men like it if women bullied and shamed them every time they did a max bench press or a set of curls or lateral raises, or for training upper body 5 times more often than lower body? And it wasn't based on science, but solely due to misandry. Exactly. Bros, quit telling women how they should train. They know more than you.